Coronation Street viewers have praised what they describe as a brilliant direction for Brody Michaelis, after he unexpectedly became caught up in the fallout from Betsy Swain's devastating stroke storyline. This week's episodes delivered highly emotional scenes when an ambulance rushed away from number 6 Coronation Street. Ryan Connor discovered Betsy unconscious on the kitchen floor before urgently informing a panicked Carla Connor Swain. He then led Carla to Lisa Connor Swain, who was anxiously waiting with their daughter, as both parents remained by Betsy's hospital bed hoping for positive news. Doctors later confirmed that Betsy had suffered a stroke caused by a blood clot. Medical staff explained that the clot developed after damage to an artery in her neck temporarily disrupted blood flow. Just when her condition appeared to be improving, tragedy struck again. While Dylan Wilson was visiting her in hospital, Betsy suddenly experienced a second stroke, leaving everyone terrified. Following additional examinations, doctors gently questioned Betsy about what had happened. Feeling embarrassed and vulnerable, she eventually admitted that Dylan had strangled her during consensual intimacy. Although they believed only slight pressure had been used, it was enough to cause the injury that led to her stroke. Lisa was heartbroken by her daughter's confession and immediately reassured Betsy that she had nothing to apologize for. However, her anger toward Dylan quickly erupted. When he returned to the hospital, Lisa confronted him, branding him an animal, before asking how he would feel if someone choked him the way he had choked her daughter. As the story continued, doctors delivered further updates, confirming that Betsy had developed both aphasia and dysarthria as a result of the stroke. Despite these complications, they remained optimistic that she had a strong chance of making a good recovery. Although struggling with her condition, Betsy begged her mother not to hold Dylan responsible and pleaded with her not to involve the police. Lisa initially appeared conflicted, but after a tense encounter with Dylan at the cafe, where she publicly revealed what had happened, she decided enough was enough. She headed straight to the police station and officially reported the incident. The following episode saw Dylan arrested, leaving Betsy devastated after discovering her mother had gone against her wishes. She was also unaware that Lauren Bolton had already asked Dylan to stay away from the hospital. Dylan later insisted to his father, Sean Tully, that he could not have caused Betsy's stroke because too much time had passed between the incident and her collapse. Neither of them realized that strokes linked to strangulation can occur hours later rather than immediately. Their conversation then took a darker turn, with Dylan suggesting Betsy might have been unfaithful. He pointed out that Brody had been interested in her and had visited her shortly before her medical emergency. Dylan later repeated the accusation in the Rovers, angering Lauren so much that she threw both him and Sean out of the pub. Meanwhile, Brody visited Betsy in hospital, where the pair shared a touching conversation. Opening up about his troubled childhood, Brody spoke honestly about the difficult experiences he had faced. When Betsy remarked that his upbringing was far from normal, he reminded her that she was still the same person and encouraged her to live life on her own terms. He also comforted her as she struggled with the news of Dylan's arrest. The mood shifted once Lauren arrived. Unable to keep Dylan's comments to herself, Lauren admitted that Dylan had been told to stay away from the hospital and was now accusing Betsy of cheating on him with Brody. While the ongoing drama continued to unfold, it was Brody's heartfelt scenes that won viewers over. Many fans praised the softer side of his character and felt his bond with Betsy was becoming increasingly genuine. One fan wrote that they loved seeing Brody and Betsy together, saying Brody seemed more open and vulnerable whenever he was with her, and hoping the pair would eventually become a couple. Another viewer agreed, describing them as a perfect match. Others credited Brody's time living with Sally and Tim for completely transforming his character. Fans said the decision had made him far more likable, with one calling it a genius move and describing his hospital conversation with Betsy as beautiful. Another viewer added that Brody's willingness to share painful memories from his childhood while trying to comfort Betsy was incredibly moving. They admitted they were unsure what role he would play in the storyline next, but felt the emotional scene was one of the week's standout moments. Coronation Street to air special Sarah Platt episode as murder story reaches turning point. Coronation Street will dedicate an entire episode next week to Sarah Platt as her murder storyline reaches a crucial stage. The ITV soap is focusing solely on Sarah's dramatic situation in a special standalone episode, with events set to push her closer than ever to facing the consequences of Theo Silverton's death. Viewers recently learned that Sarah was the person responsible for Theo's death during the night of Lisa and Carla Connor Swain's wedding celebration. Since that revelation, Sarah has desperately tried to keep the truth hidden, relying on the support of her former partner, Gary Windus, to conceal what happened. Now, the investigation is gathering pace, and the latest developments suggest Sarah's secret is about to be exposed. Detective Kit Green was recently removed from the case after senior officers decided he had become too personally involved with those connected to the investigation. In the latest episode, Detective McLaughlin passed important new evidence to Lisa, providing investigators with a major breakthrough. Monday's episode will be presented as a special single-story installment, placing Sarah at the center of every scene while leaving Kit completely unaware of what is unfolding. According to insiders, Kit desperately pushes McLaughlin for information, but she refuses to reveal any details about the investigation. Believing he has already worked everything out, Kit convinces himself that Gary is about to be arrested. However, Kit is completely mistaken. The evidence now points directly towards Sarah. Despite doing everything possible to shield her after learning the truth, he is unable to stay ahead of the official police investigation. The special episode will also give viewers a short break from several other ongoing storylines, including Betsy Swain's recovery following her recent medical emergency. Coronation Street's Molly Gallagher opens up about leaving Nina Lucas behind. Coronation Street actress Molly Gallagher has spoken publicly for the first time about her upcoming departure from the ITV soap as her 7-year journey playing Nina Lucas comes to an end. Last month, it was officially announced that Gallagher would be leaving the long-running drama, with filming for her final scenes already complete. At the same time, news emerged that she had secured a leading role in the stage adaptation of The Silence of the Lambs, where she will appear alongside John Partridge. During an appearance on This Morning, Gallagher reflected on her decision to move on from the soap and begin a new chapter in her career. Speaking with the program's presenters, she admitted that leaving such a familiar role had been emotional, while also expressing excitement about the opportunities ahead. Gallagher revealed that saying goodbye was particularly difficult because she has never been comfortable with major changes. Even so, she suggested that Nina's story may not be over forever, explaining that she hopes the character could return one day because of her deep affection for Coronation Street. She said she does not believe this is necessarily the final chapter for Nina, and added that she would love the chance to step back into the role in the future if the opportunity arises. When Gallagher's departure was first announced, a spokesperson for the soap praised her contribution to the program, highlighting how she had created one of the show's most distinctive and much-loved characters over the past several years. The statement also congratulated the actress on earning the opportunity to take on such a famous theatrical role and wished her every success with the upcoming stage tour. Coronation Street continues to air on ITV1 on weekday evenings, with episodes also available to stream on ITVX.